Fresh raw oysters from Prince Edward Island, shucked and served naked or with 2 sauces plus champagne. The ultimate treat for celebration. Today, raw oysters with champagne and sauces. A couple months ago, I had the pleasure of visiting Prince Edward Island, affectionately known as Canada's Food Island. We had the most incredible food out there: lobster, Atlantic beef, we had mussels, potatoes, and then fresh oysters. Now, that got me thinking about this very celebratory treat. That's right, today we're doing Prince Edward Island oysters from a place called Raspberry Point. I gotta tell you, best oysters I've ever had. I want to suggest this as the perfect celebratory treat. Here's how this is gonna go down. There will be champagne, so let's start by chilling a favorite bottle. Champagne should be chilled cold between 6 degrees Celsius and 9 degrees Celsius. That's 43 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Pro tip, let's say you don't have a snowbank or a frozen lake to chill your champagne, just place the champagne in the fridge for a couple of hours. Keep that in mind for when you go to recreate this in the warm summer months. Works like a charm. Next up, while I was in Prince Edward Island, we had this guy show us how to shuck oysters. He was a pro, and I asked him, how do you enjoy oysters? And he said, naked. I was like, oh, we gotta take our clothes off? He was like, no, Nick. The oysters are naked, but I kind of want to serve them naked. And I also want to give you a couple of options for 2 classic sauces that pair well with oysters. They're up next. The first, a traditional cocktail sauce. Into a small bowl, half a cup of ketchup, the juice from half a lemon, 1 tablespoon Worcestershire sauce, a few dashes of Tabasco or Sriracha or another favorite hot sauce. Then the essential ingredient, 2 tablespoons of prepared horseradish. Stir everything to combine. You can cover and refrigerate for a few hours. Just stir it again right before you serve. Second sauce, a classic mignonette. Into a small bowl, half a cup of red wine vinegar, 2 shallots, they're finely minced, half a teaspoon of freshly cracked black pepper. Also do a little pinch of kosher salt, stir to combine, again cover and refrigerate for a few hours, stir again right before serving. And now, finally, let's talk about the oysters. When purchasing fresh oysters like this, first thing you want to do when you get to the fish store is give them a squeeze. Fresh oysters hold tight. Once you bring them home, gently rinse them under cold water. I like to give the shells a gentle scrub as well. Now, to keep them in the fridge for a few days, the oysters go into a bowl, cover with a damp, not soaking, just a damp cloth. Oysters go into the fridge until you're ready to shuck. Now the shuck, a couple of things to remember. You're gonna need an oyster knife. Mine is a handmade beauty, short knife with a pointed end. To shuck, go slow and be careful. Place the oyster down on a soft, clean dishcloth. You can then cover most of the shell with the cloth. Lay your hand tight onto the oyster, and then the tip of the oyster knife goes into the hinge. Pressure to wiggle it in, the shell will pop. Then I like to bring the oyster into the palm of my hand, run the knife along the top of the shell. We're cutting the abductor muscle. We're gonna discard that top shell. If you've got any little bits hanging around, you can pluck them out. Don't forget, there's a second abductor muscle attached to the bottom shell. We're gonna slice it away. Try not to lose any of that liquid within. Some people flip the oyster over in the half shell. I like it just the way it is. You can then transfer to an ice or snow-covered tray until I'm ready to serve. Let's shuck some more. Okay, here we go. Oysters are shucked, sauces are made, champagne is chilled. How about we run a little bit of music? I'll do a festive presentation and then we get to try. on the half shell, nestled in a snowdrift atop a beautiful silver shell dish. We have a classic horseradish flavored cocktail sauce, the essential mignonette with those shallots and red vinegar. I also put out some lemon slices just in case. Wait, what was that? How about the champers? Grab the bottle firmly in the left or right hand, peel the foil off the top, then hold the bottle snug in your midriff on a 45-degree angle. Thumb is firmly holding the top of the cork as we twist that cage. And then we're going to gently move the cork back and forth. The pressure of the bottle will gently release the cork. Little pop, maybe not. And then we just pour. I love these hollow-stemmed champagne saucers, my favorite, and very festive. 3 options on how all of you oyster lovers can enjoy this fabulous treat. Like the pros recommend, just naked, a squeeze of lemon on the side. Next up, how about a spoonful of that beautiful mignonette? Finally, a tiny drop of that gorgeous cocktail sauce. Let me just say, oysters from Prince Edward Island totally have my heart. Wait until you try this festive treat. Full recipe and directions up at Weekend at the Cottage for you to reference and enjoy. Look for this video on our dedicated YouTube channel. You can subscribe to it as well. And then when something this fabulous is presented, take a picture of it, post it on your favorite socials using hashtag Weekend at the Cottage on Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. Raw oysters with champagne and sauces. Here's how we do it up here in cottage country. Oysters. Oh my gosh, so good. And champagne. Cheers. Happy holidays to each and all. Enjoy. I might have a couple more.